Hi everyone, this is Annie from Stamp Anything, and I want to thank you for joining me today in our craft along of our Joy Shaker embellishment. This is our first volume event, so we're super excited to be here and excited to debut our newest kit that we designed just for this event. Most of our shaker card kits and those sorts of things are really fast and easy to put together. Most of them are able to be completed in less than 30 minutes. Everything is already pre-cut out for you. So it's basically like putting a puzzle together, and we've made it as easy as possible that if you did not have directions to follow along, you would still be able to pretty much figure out how these projects go together. For this project, the only thing that you're going to need is some glue. We prefer a glue that dries clear only because for your shaker part, if any of it does get on the acetate, you don't want like a white glob sitting there. So clear glue is going to be one of your best friends here. Another thing you might want to use is a pair of tweezers if you like to get more of a precise placement of the cutouts that you're putting on. And then finally, and again, these are all optional, it would be a brayer, and that's just when you are adhering everything. A brayer helps evenly distribute the glue across your whole piece and also just gives it a stronger adhesion to when you're doing your project. Our cuts are all made out of from laser cutting. So everything is precise that it will fit together just like a puzzle. So let's go ahead and start working on this adorable shaker Joy element, which you can use for very, very many multiple purposes for your projects. So first you should have your kit, and your kit came like this, and we're just going to go through the contents of it to make sure that you have all the pieces and that nothing is missing. So you should have a bag of little shaker adornments. You should have a chipboard base piece of the word joy. 3 rings, which I call the frames for the shaker. It's gonna create that for you. And then you're gonna have another little Ziploc bag. And in here, let's grab that. You should find, a couple of the green leaves. We always try to give a couple extra pieces just in case you lose anything, or sometimes when you're opening these little Ziploc bags with the static cling, the smaller pieces fly away. So we always try to include a few extras just on that chance that something happened. You should have some of the glitter berries. This is the inside to that, so you don't need that. The little hang tag. A little gold rectangle piece. Oh, I found another berry. Okay. A J and a Y. A circle base with a matching frame. And then an acetate sheet. So these are all of the components that your kit should have came with. If by any chance you happen to be missing anything out of your kit, just shoot us an email and we will send you replacement parts for whatever is missing so that you will be able to complete your project. Because sometimes these little pieces, like I say, they do go flying away and they get lost. So we want to make sure everyone has what they need. So now for the glitter paper, it's pretty obvious which is your right side up because the back side is just going to be white. But on these other little pieces like the leaves, it's not always noticeable what side is up. If you flip them over, sometimes you will see from the laser scorched burns. So that is how you know that's the back side. But we always use textured cardstock as well. So that is how you'll know what is the top side of each piece when you're putting this together. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. And the first thing that I like to personally do is prepare my shaker frame. So I'm going to grab my acetate sheet and my frame cardstock sheet, again with the textured side up, and I'm going to glue that together. And the reason why I like to do this and get this out of the way is so that by the time it comes to putting my shaker on, this piece will already be dried. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab some glue. And really easily and simply, all you need to do is add a bead of glue right along the frame of your window, like so. And then just glue that right on top of your acetate. And then I just like to use my fingers because it's wet glue, so you have that wiggle room. And I just like to turn it around while I'm holding it in my hand so that I know that I'm getting the edges lined up. And then when I do that, I like to then go on the back side and just using my fingernail or the ball of your finger, just making sure that that glue adheres really well. If any of it oozes out, you can just easily wipe that off with a rag or a wipe or even your finger, just so that you get that off. The most important part is you just don't want it on the acetate because it's hard to clean up glue on your acetate. And there is our little window, which then I can now just put that off to the side. The next part I like to work on, and again, it's just so that I know it's dry by the time it's time to add my shakers, are the chipboard frames. And I'm going to just stack them all together. So I'm just going to add a bead of glue, again, around each frame, and then stack it on top of each other. And then for this, what I like to do is I like to put my finger on the inside and twist and purl, and I'm squeezing with my fingers on this piece as I'm turning it. That way I know this part is getting glued down, but this part on the inside and the outside is lining up perfectly, so I don't have any hard areas where it's not lining up proper. And I like to just go ahead and do that as well. And then with our last piece, same thing, I'm just stacking that last frame and doing the same bit here, making sure it's adhered nice, like so. And then you have this really nice looking, aesthetically looking, as opposed to foam tape, because sometimes that'll get choppy. But it also, you know, if you're using dark colors on a card and you look it off to the side and you have white sticking out, this I just find to be a better look and a finished look on my cards. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is take my base piece of my Joy. And the first part that I'm going to go ahead and glue down is the little hanging tack. Now, depending on what you're going to be using this project for, you can cut this off if you need to. But if you wanted to hang it as an ornament on your tree, or as a gift tag, or with ribbon on a wine bottle or something, you'll want to leave your little tag here. But all I'm going to do is just add some glue to the back side. But if you don't like that tag, you can always, the hanging part, you can always just cut that off for whatever purpose you're making your project for. Okay, and we're just gluing that right on there. And I like using the liquid glue because it gives you that little bit of wiggle room to make sure everything's lining up just like it should be. The next piece we're going to put down is this little gold rectangle, which is acting as the cap to the top of our ornament. And we're just going to go ahead and then place that right on the edge. And again, since these are all laser cut items, they're all going to fit snug as a rug. No, snug as a bug in a rug. right there onto your project. Next is our letter J. And we're just going to go ahead and put the glue down there. And line that up. And again, I like to use my fingers on the sides to make sure that I have it where I need it to be and making sure it's lined up perfectly. Again, if you had a brayer, you could roll your brayer right on there and the glue that is underneath here is just gonna fan out and it'll get a better adhesion to your card. If you don't have one, just make sure that you press it on nice and well so that you know you're getting good contact with your paper and your chipboard. And then you're going to repeat the same exact thing with your letter Y. And as you can see, this is already coming together quite quickly. Again, all of our kits are made to come together this quickly and this easily. And I can't stress enough how it all just fits right together, so you don't have to worry about a part hanging over that shouldn't be. Okay. So there's our J and our Y. Now our leaves, we do try when I design these and draw these designs out, I try to make things as, you know, symmetrical as I can, that if you had a piece and you didn't know if it was supposed to go this way or that way, it would fit. But sometimes that doesn't always happen. And in that case, this is with our holly leaves. So before you go ahead and glue them, this is what I like to call the dry run. First, make sure that your piece of paper is textured side up, so you know what piece is that. And you're just going to lie the piece down to make sure that it fits. So I got lucky on that piece. I didn't have to turn it, but if you didn't, you would see that if you had it backwards, it's just not going to fit the chipboard underneath it 100% correctly. So that's why we like to say to do it as a dry fit, so that you know you're putting the pieces in the right area, going in the right direction. And then here's my second piece. And I know I have to flip this one. And so now I know that these are the two ways that these pieces have to go to line up correctly. And then I just like to move them off my project, just slide them off so that they're in the orientation it needs to be. And then I can go back and then I'll add my glue. And I know that that probably seems like such a basic concept to do, but I've had some kits that we did one that had a sun ray with all the rays of the sun, and it only lined up one way, and you had to keep turning it and turning it and turning it to make sure that it fit properly. I've also had I did a class one time, and the people, they put the letters on backwards. So that's why dry fitting just really saves you a lot of time and aggravation, instead of just eyeballing where you think things are going to fit, because they don't always fit that way. And then we're going to go with our second leaf here, and the same thing, we're just going to go ahead and put that down like so. And now we have our little holly berries that we're going to add. And you should have more than just one holly berry. You might have 3, you might have 5, just however many got put in your pack. This was designed to either have 2 or 3 holly berries, so it's going to be a personal choice how many you want to add. But you should be able to see that on your chipboard hanging over is the base, that one of those holly berries should be going right there. And then you would be able to take your other holly berries and just stack them however you want on top of your card. But you want to at least cover the one with the chipboard that's hanging over off on the side. So I'm going to do that one first, and I'm just going to add a little bead of glue right on my holly berry dot and put that right there. And I'm just going to hold it down for a second because it is being put on top of the layers of the green, so it's a little bulky right there. And then next you can take your next holly berry and put that one down wherever aesthetically looks nice to you. I like to do the traditional 2 next to each other and 1 on top. And I'm not going to even worry about my glue so much that's oozing out because I know that this glue dries clear, so I don't really have to worry at this point with that. But you can always clean off your excess glue should you have any. And then I'm just going to take my 3rd berry and then just kind of stick that on the top. And there is our 3 little berries right there. So now the only part left to do is our shaker part. These are the extra pieces that happen to be in my kit. You might have more, you might have less. Okay, so the next part that you're going to do, and it depends on which kit you got, because when these were first manufactured, they came, you should have the big O that goes right on there. If you do not, you just have the smaller O that would just fit in the center of your circle. That one's okay too. If you have the big O, you're just going to go ahead and glue that straight down, okay, right on the base of your chipboard here. If you do not have this, but you have the smaller inner circle, what you're going to do is you're going to take this and glue this down first. And then all you're going to do is plop that circle inside after you've glued down your frame. So it just depends on which kit got mailed out when you ordered, because they did cut the wrong piece and we didn't catch it in time when we were doing this video. So, but both of them work the same way. And I will show you, I can show you that in just a moment. So here is my piece with the big O. Let me see if I have one of the ones with the small over here. I think I have one. Here we go. Let me just grab that. So if you didn't get this big piece in yours, instead you got this small piece, what you would do then is you would take your chipboard piece and you would glue that down, and then you would take this and put it on the inside. So you would still have, because this part gets covered with the chipboard anyway, so it just depends. So either the whole thing is down if you have that one. If not, you're going to glue down your chipboard piece and then put glue on there and then stick that on the inside. Okay, I hope that makes sense. So next what we're going to do is take our chipboard piece and we're going to go ahead and add that bead of glue right here. And then you're going to line this along the edge of that O ornament part. And again, I like to lift mine up and use my fingers to make sure it's lining up with the back side bottom part. And again, if you didn't have your piece in there, you're going to go and add that in now. So everyone's at this point, regardless of which piece you have, is going to look the same at this stage. The chipboard's on top and you just see that inner part of your, now I can't get it out, so I'll just leave that in there like so. Okay. And then what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and grab your sequins and you're going to add however many or few that you want into your shaker part. I know some people that love shakers and they love to fill theirs to the brim with them. And then I know some people that just like to use it more sparingly. So just go ahead and fill yours as much or as little as you want. We do give you a full bag of sequins with your kit. And you'll actually, even if you filled this up a lot, you should still have quite a bit of sequins left over. The only thing you want to make sure is that when you're putting them in here, you want it to at least be flushed with that top layer of the chipboard frame that you're making, because you have to put your frame lid on it still. So you don't want them hanging over, because then they're going to get stuck between there and they're not going to shake as well. So I just like to move it around and pat them down to make sure that they're lying pretty flat inside. Sometimes you get some that are stuck together. So I just like to do a little like that to make sure it's even. And then the last step for our project is you're just going to add your frame. Now I like to add the frame, my glue to my chipboard as opposed to the back of my frame. I just think because then if I try to move it with the glue on this, if I didn't line it up as well, I just seem to make more of a mess. That's just how I am. You can do it however you want. The most important part in this step is that you just want to make sure you get a full enclosed area. If you leave an area unglued, even a small little part, when you're putting your window on, that can have your insides sneak out and escape when they're being shaken. So you just want to make sure you have a full seal of your glue. And then when you're ready, and as carefully as you can, you just want to go ahead and put this on top. Again, I like to use my fingers to make sure that I'm on the edge really well. And then what I like to do as well is sometimes you see how this little bit of glue oozed in there. I don't shake my card until I know it's dry, because if I shake it, a sequin's going to get stuck on there and it's going to be there forever. So I just like to make sure I go around really well, getting the glue as flat in there as well. So that's why I like to use my fingernail or the bottom of my finger. Just press it really well so that I know I'm getting that glued as flattened and spread out as possible. And yes, some of it might ooze out. Mine oozed out on the inside, not on the outside for whatever reason. But I'm not going to go ahead and shake this until that's dried. So I would just put this aside, and you'll end up, and you can see on this one I shook it when it still had glue, and you can see how they get stuck where the glue was. So that's why I prefer not to shake mine until it was completely dried. But that is your completed item when you're done, and I hope that you love it. I think it's snazzy and super pretty. Again, you can use this for multiple uses. You can use it just as it is. Get a piece of twine or ribbon, you can hang it on your tree. Or you can hang it on a gift bag. You can write the to and from right on the leaves, or you can put the to and the from and the date and a little message going around the circle. You can even just write on the back if that's what you prefer. So you can use it as a gift tag or an ornament. You can get some really pretty ribbon, and you can attach it to a, what are those, the things that go on the bottle tags. You can glue that on there, or you can just tie this to a fancy ribbon on a bottle of wine to give as a gift to a family, friend, or neighbor. You can take a card base. I don't know if I have any around here, but you can just take a card base like one of these and just make a mat with some different colored paper, and you can just glue that to your card base and turn it into a card. That's why I said if you wanted to cut that part off, you can do that as well, because then you would have a shaker card. You can also, what else can you do with this? ornaments, bottle tags, gift cards, gift tags. Oh, you can even put it on a scrapbook page. There is going to be a little bit of height and depth in that for your books, but it's going to hold up over time, because if you take yours right now, and you can see how nice and sturdy this is because it is on this chipboard base. So it really just helps keep things sturdier, so it's going to last a longer amount of time than if it had just been, you know, a piece of cardstock paper that you were gluing onto another piece of cardstock paper. So it's going to hold up over time. But that is our joy ornament that we made today. Thank you again for having me. My name is Annie, and we are Stamp Anything. Again, we are new to the volume event. It's our first one. Hopefully it won't be our last. I would really love to do more of these with you. You can check out our website at www.stampanything.com. We do have a show special for you. I'm going to put that information up for you in just a moment. And basically, we are a one-stop shop, but we basically are more for card making than scrapbooking. We are a rubber stamp company. We deal with cute little images. For example, we just did our fall retreat, and we did a Willy Wonka theme. So here's one of the projects that we did. This is the style of the artwork that I draw. These are called Chibi Kids. And this was Willy Wonka. We also did a Veruca. We made that into a shaker as well with the golden bad. So this was a special event that we had just a couple weeks ago in October for our in-person retreat. But we do like to color, and we do lots of different images. So that is what we're known for mostly, but we just started card kit making, so we're venturing more into that as well. We have a handful of card kits from summer and fall that are available, and we'll be launching more in 2023. But basically, if you come and stop by any of our booths, or if you stop by our Facebook group and we do our live streams, it's usually for the most part coloring instructions with Copic markers. We basically teach how to color our images using Copic markers. This is our brand, basically, is the card making. We do 3D projects with some of our projects as well. Again, this was from our Willy Wonka event that we held at the end of October. But we would love for you guys to stop by if you're interested in learning how to color. We do live streams that are free in our group. We also teach coloring classes. And then at any event, you can come stop by our booth. We do free make and takes with coloring as well. And I know I'm rambling. I'm sorry. I get excited and I just don't stop talking. But anyways, again, thank you so much for being here. We will see you soon. We will be at the show in May. It'll be our first time being a vendor there as well. So we hope that you will stop by and say hi. And let me go get that special for you for this weekend, and we will be explaining that to you in just a moment. Okay, so what we are doing for this volume event is we are offering a 20% off the store for you guys using the code Jolly Jolly. No spaces between Jolly Jolly, all together. This will expire on Thanksgiving Day, November 24th. The 20% off can be used on anything in the store, items that are currently retiring. We have a bunch of stamps that are retiring, so we also have some grab and go boxes that are retiring. You can use these on older sets. You can use them on our newest releases. The 20% off is anything on the site, from stamps to inks to paper to stencils to dies. Anything we offer, you can take 20% off right there. Let's see. We also, on our website, if you have an account, you already know about our reward program. If you do not have an account, if you create a reward program account, which is free to do, you will also earn points for every order that you place. And that will also generate the points into discounts for you over time, so you get more coupons, and then you can use these coupons as often as you earn them. Our website does allow for stacking coupons, so you can use one coupon, you could use 4 coupons, however many you happen to have in your account, to get the best deal on the order that you happen to be purchasing. Some people save their points until a grab and go box come out so that they can get a better deal on a grab and go box. So you can do that as well. Our website, like I said, will allow you to stack your codes and your points. But again, for this event here, you can get the 20% off anything on the site using code Jolly Jolly. And then I'm also going to let you know about some of the clubs that we offer through Stamp Anything. So let me go and put that information up for you so we can talk about really quick the 2 clubs that we offer. So we also have 2 clubs, Stamp Club and Stencil Club. Stamp Club we've had for several years now, and Stencil Club we just started this past summer. So basically, every month we come out with a new release, which is 3 new image stamps, their coordinating outline dies, a stencil, a word die, and a builder die. And usually they are all themed together so that they all coordinate nicely. So for Stamp Club, we have 3 different tiers depending on budget needs and also what you like and what you need. Our first tier for Stamp Club is called the Basic Tier, and that's $24 a month, where you just get the 3 new image stamps. But you also get a 15% off site-wide discount in that tier. The next tier is our standard tier, and that is $36 a month, and you get all 3 image stamps plus their coordinating outline dies. But you also get that 15% off store-wide special as well. And our most popular tier is the deluxe one, and that is $50 a month. And that is when you get all 3 dies, all 3 image stamps, the stencil, the word die, and a builder die. And then on top of that, you get a 20% off discount site-wide. So if you like the style of our stamps and the things that we put out month to month, those site-wide percentages that you get off for being a member really start to add up and give you a lot of savings. All of those are US and Canada pricing. We do ship internationally as well. And now those prices also include the shipping of the Stamp Club to your door every month. All 3 tiers also come with a code for you to get all of the digital stamps that we offer on the site for free. We usually come out with 1 or 2 a month of a digital stamp. And if you're in Stamp Club, you also get those for free in your account. So those are also a really great bargain that you get as well. We also just like for you guys to get as much that you can for, the cost of the clubs. The other club that we have is our Stencil Club. And in Stencil Club, you will get 3 new stencils a month for only $10. And that's for the United States shipping. And that is only $10 a month. So you're getting stencils for about $3 and change. And that's just to help you build up your stencil collection affordably and quickly. So those were the 2 clubs I wanted to go over with you. And then just lastly, to talk about our Facebook group, which is Stamp Anything Stampers, where we do live streams every week so you can learn to color with your Copic markers and learn how to do our skin tones and our hair combinations and other things. And it's free for you to join just to help you learn those markers a little bit better. Again, thank you all for having me, and have a great rest of your weekend.